Fran's been working hard since November. And so she can't lose this election when the two people in the race against her just got started. And she's been working since November. That shows how much and dedicated she is to you in this community. So the strong ask that I have is that everybody find Fran's @Blue account online. Okay. Post and repost through all your social media means, including email, now through the end of the day, because she could still pay off campaign debt on Tuesday. Every time you think about it, repost it. Not only that, post that commercial. I'm calling it a commercial. Y'all know what I mean, right? The little video. That's an excellent video. That shows us that Fran is one to represent Ferguson holistically, and she's been doing it. It's organic. Every time you think about that, post and repost. And I know I said I have 2 things, but I got one more. If you're not signed up, even for 1 hour, to work at a polling location, just to give somebody a bathroom break, a lunch break, please see me and Fran about working at one of the polling locations on Tuesday. Even if you can't work at a polling location, we appreciate you going to some of the voters and making sure they don't forget that April 2nd is election day. Knock on your neighbor's door. Stand out in the street. I mean, don't get hit or anything like that. But, you know, but like, wave people down. Have you gone to vote? Right. You want to get people out to make sure. Call, text your friends, tell them, go vote. All right? We're going to win this. I wish I lived in Ferguson. The way y'all do stuff gives me chills. This is great. Let's keep it great, because some of y'all folks trying to take it back. Take Ferguson out of your hands again. And that's not going to be good for none of us. The whole region. All right? Let's win this.
Excellent. We are here with Fran Griffin. And
friends.
You see that in friends. Look at all the friends everywhere. Oh, she's trying to run out of here. Carter. But we really want to talk about, you know, the community love and what we talked about, community empowerment, and just really stretching our voices to get things done and programs put in place to heal each other one resident at a time. How you doing today, Fran?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm doing wonderful today. You know, you know what? Let's not even talk about you, Fran, right now. Okay. Because we always up in your business. We want to talk with the community right now, who resides in the area surrounding Ferguson and also in the 3rd Ward. About what issues or what they need to get done through that council seat that's currently being held. Anybody in the room want to share anything?
I said the 3rd Ward need proper representation. That's right. Nothing more, nothing less.
What's that mean though?
We don't need people who only come in the 3rd Ward to exploit us, meaning for their own personal gain, to push their careers further. We need people in the 3rd Ward who really can connect to the people within the 3rd Ward, meaning just because some of these people are less fortunate or think they do not have a voice, we need more people like Fran Griffin who let the citizens know that it is their voice that matters.
I know Fran has been very consistent in the work that she does. She believes in education. She has been here from day one on the front line fighting for not only her kids but other people's kids. So that's why I believe in Fran.
My name is Deborah Rice Carter.
All right now, Miss Carter, what's going
on? For those people that don't know me.
You know, what does that look like, fighting on the front line?
It means meeting the people where they are. Going out and focusing on what people's needs are. And Fran is the perfect example of helping people and going out and engaging with people at their house or wherever, you know, seeing what they need Fran is a friend of mine, and her and I both are part of the neighborhood leaders, and we are leaders in our community. Even though I do live in Ward 2, I support Fran all I can in Ward 3. I have family all through every ward, 1, 2, and 3. But the things that she is doing, I don't see anybody else doing them in Ward 3.
Right.
And I want her to win and excel in what she do. And I'm going to help her any way that I can.
I live in Ward 3. I've lived here for 31 years. And we're the people, for the last 31 years, I've always felt like we are the marginalized. We are the ones that's just been pushed to the side, really not being regarded. That's how I feel as a Ferguson resident, and that's how I have felt. So when all the uprising happened, you know, you had these celebrities running the town, had these news stations coming in, and just us nobodies, like myself and like Fran, we was out there, like they said, on the front line, just talking to just regular, normal, everyday people about the issues that were going on in our community. You know, and she listened. Now, the apartment complexes, those are the people I have said in meetings where people totally disregard people who live in apartments because they say they're so transient, right? But Fran went over there when nobody else did, and she talked to those residents. I saw her for myself. She went door to door to listen to those people's concerns when they were just being disregarded. They were letting the buildings go down. And she talked to those residents, and when they determined that those residents had to move because the buildings were unsafe, she literally helped those people pack up their belongings to move somewhere safer. Nobody else did that. Yeah. Especially that's running right now. Nobody else showed those kind of concerns. And not only did she listen to those residents, she went back to city council, and she told the council, I was there, told them of the issues that were going on. And some of them didn't really know that was going on. And we already, had representation on our council at that time. But Fran is not on the council. She's just a regular resident that has love for her community. And she reached out to the people in the community and helped however she could. So it's not too many people in Ward 3 who do not know who Fran Griffin is. Number one, because she is always present. She's always engaged. She's at every meeting we can think of, trying to do whatever her hands will find for her to do. So she is the person that I want to represent me in here in this third ward. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we need to see in this third ward, and I believe if we take it to her, and she already know what the things are, so we don't have to take her to her. She know what the issues are. See, we need someone who already knows what's going on, not just now getting into the game. She's been in the game, so she knows what's going on. So as soon as she gets elected on Tuesday, she's going to hit the ground running, I already know. So that's why I'm putting my support behind her, because she is the person that we need to represent us. She is not one of those rubber stamp people. She's an independent thinker, and she's going to do right by her community. She loves us, and we already know that.
Well, I like to say something about transparency and communication. And I think it's demonstrative of Fran's leadership. Fran is a reluctant leader. She started this work, as most people did, during the uprising. But I would say that Fran's ability to connect and the empathy that she has, not just love for, but empathy that she has for people that are struggling. So she understands a lot of these issues intimately. And over the course of these past 4 years, I have watched Fran resist this leadership role. But while she was in there and doing the work, people knew that they could trust her. They knew that she would tell the truth. They knew that she would be unapologetic when doing so, that she would represent them in places and spaces where they were uncomfortable, where she made a place for herself, and the broader community began to recognize this is a solid voice. Yeah. A solid voice. And so the skills that Fran has developed, when you're talking about emotional intelligence, is something that she already had. but I think it was the confidence of moving from the front line on the streets, you know, from a protester to a policymaker. So what is important to know is Fran didn't just decide to run. She came to Neighborhood Policing Steering Committee, and now she's a facilitator of Neighborhood Policing Steering Committee. The Municipal Code Review. All of these things people should know, that while they may not see big flashy confetti things, you know, coming from her hills all the time, Fran is the one that's actually doing the work. Actually doing the work, and a lot of it. A lot of it. So I appreciate that about you, Fran. Yes, that's my sister. That's my sister.
We work together well.
I try to
That's
share,
the
but I
thing. Like, none of this stuff that we do. I say we because it's not just me, but I love to be able to work with other people, especially like because whenever you're doing other different type of ideas and things and jobs, you have to find people within the community that specialize and have an interest in addressing specific issues. You know, we go through the training all the time where you talk about you find like-minded people, but that is so true. You know, I just apply those things that we learned to how we deal with the issues in the city, and it works very well because what we start doing is creating this network of people where when it's this specific issue, then I know I need to go here. When it's this specific issue, I know I need to go here. And we keep those relationships, and some of them even overlap with each other. But I've always said, like specifically in the Third Ward, we work together. We work together, and we have been creating that network within our community for a while now. So this is important to us as we continue the work that we've already started on to keep connecting and just reach even further within our community and identify even more people that are willing to take on the roles and the responsibility of creating this change. So I just look forward to it.
It's always trying to fan out fires like among us and get us down to back to where we our purpose and our goal and our mission. You know, she's all about the mission, our mission. You know,
and so knowing that, like everybody's got some. I call it a joke, but I call us the dysfunctional family. So when we in a dysfunctional family, sometimes, you know, we're going to clash heads, but the most important thing is that we continue to work forward. And so it's like, okay, I can take you and your crazy, you take me and my crazy, and then we can put our two minds together and get the job done.
I met Fran after Mike Brown's death. And the one thing that everybody said about Fran after working with her, because she was very visible, very available, and worked with everybody, is that Fran was a quick learner. You know, she observed, she figured out, she was very analytical, and she figured things out like that. So everybody noticed that about you very quickly. And that's very important because she can see what's going on, and that's why we need Fran in that position, because she was a quick learner. She knows what's going on, and
Ferguson was the centerpoint, if you will, of our country for change and reform. We can't afford to be vulnerable because it doesn't just make Ferguson vulnerable, it makes the region vulnerable. And St. Louis was already vulnerable. This metropolitan area. Yeah, this whole Midwest, right? So, you know, I was just thinking as everyone was talking, I'm not Fran working on a campaign here in Ferguson. And I was told, you need to talk to this sister to unite groups in Ferguson. And I thought, okay, you can't come into a community and not know who to talk to. And so actually Fran and Tiffany were sisters that I was introduced to, and I remember Miss Klein and Felicia I heard of, and I remember Miss Cassandra. So people in this room, I knew were doing the work and have been doing the work
In Ferguson.
in Ferguson, but not just in Ferguson, because like I said, what's being done here, the work and anything else that's being done here in Ferguson, for the good or bad, is going to impact the region and ultimately the nation. Because we want to effectuate change. We want to realize a future for our babies so they can be safe, so they can have upward social mobility, so they can have economic stability, so they can say when they walk to the polls that I'm here for me and for you and for you. And this is about economic empowerment.
Right.
So I think if people's eyes aren't open, or if their eyes are on something else, you're not just messing up in Ward 3. You're messing up in the region, and you're messing up in the country. We need friends in that seat.
Yes.
You know, when things in my community happen, when people in my community, when businesses and areas and parks and spaces get neglected, I feel some kind of way about it, and because it's mine, you know, even though it's not, you know, I consider mine all of us, you know, I'm not just mine meaning individual, mine meaning
Like
this
a
is
village.
yes, this is ours.
It takes a
Like
village.
I really feel that way, and so that's why one of the things that I've been encouraging is, you know, we need more people sitting in boards like that, because that's how the decisions have been made for so long, and they've been okay with that. But at the same time, we have been okay with that as well, and I really want the people in my community to understand the potential that we have, the power that we have when we work together. When we actually, I tell people all the time, you just sit out there, just go to one meeting. I promise you, you're going to see something that's going to be like, oh, no, this ain't right. Either you're going to do two things. Either you're going to leave and you ain't never going to come back, or you're going to figure out something you're going to speak up about it. And I just feel like that's very necessary. I think in terms of black people, everybody know I am black, and I will always look out for my people. That's automatic. That's the first things first. When it comes to white people in our community, you do have people who really want to see a change and are willing to work. I'm willing to work with people, but then you also have people in our community that do not. And for those, I'ma definitely speak up. You're gonna know where I stand. I'm gonna fight hard, because you know who I represent, and I'm trying to represent everyone, but just know you're not going to get off what you've been getting off in the city of Ferguson, in the 3rd Ward, on my people. You're not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to let you. And so, that just, when you say stuff like, when you said that about the boards and commissions, like, it reminded me of a conversation that I had with a representative of the community at one time before. And it was really unfortunate, because in that particular situation, the representative wanted to do some things, but because that person was the only person at the time that was sitting on a board similar to what you were, it was really hard to actually affect change when you the only person and you got all of these other people. And so that's why I constantly tell people, look, we got all kind of plans. We got development along West Florissant that's about to take place. We got the possibility of them gentrifying extra areas. Don't nobody in this area need another Starbucks in Sector 5, which is where the McDonald's area is. We need places where we can have fresh foods, where we can have stores that we want to patronize, which will bring in money for the city. You know, if we have things in place in spaces where we are, where we want to patronize, then that's going to help the city overall. Hi, I'm Fran Griffin, and I'm running for 3rd Ward Council seat in the city of Ferguson. I encourage everybody to come out Tuesday, April 2nd to the polls. Polls will open up at 6 a.m. and they close at 7 p.m. And I look forward to seeing everybody, and I just want us to know that if we work together collectively towards this change, we can really do it. So please vote for me, number 1 on the ballot, Fran Griffin.
Yes.